Okay, a little preface. I am recording this video, but in my mind I think I've actually scripted it out so that I say what I was thinking. But I'm thinking maybe it shouldn't be of me talking. Maybe I should use images, because I can say a lot more with images. Everybody can. That's one of the main reasons why we go to the temple. Because more can be said through objects and relationships and stuff than can be said with words, which basically are objects and relationships. Anyway, I want to read this. There are two opposites that have dominated my life. One screams to me, "You're fat. You're not happy because look at them. Everybody else is happy. It must be because you're overweight." But that voice lost, because I know that I would never feel happy. And I felt like I was created to be happy in the first place. So I had been taught that you judge something by their seeds. And if it was a godly thing to be skinny, and ultimately it's what I have in there. I'm not good at reading. Okay, I'll just read. And ultimately if it was a godly thing to be skinny, I would do all I could. And then God would do the rest. So I exercised, I dieted, I researched, and then I prayed. And I had some success. We recognize an idea by its fruits, so it was either inspired by God or otherwise. And the way we judge that is how it makes us feel. Probably it was a result of my saying prayers about this, because I knew that I couldn't do it myself. At least that's what I've been taught. So I stopped being ridiculous. And that first voice telling me, "Oh, you're fat. Everybody else, you should look like everybody else." It was definitely not from God. God wouldn't say that to me. My other opposing notion is summed up in a thing that my great-grandfather said on his 100th birthday. He imparted so much wisdom. But I'm going to sum it all up into one word. It's written right here. I know what the word is. Do you want to know? Okay, the word is moderation. Okay. Now, we hear that word a lot in Mormonism. Moderation, moderation in all things. Which means don't be too anything. Which is based... Oh, I'm getting sidetracked. Okay. But my great-grandfather was not Mormon. In fact, I was trying to remember what kind of religion he followed, but I remembered that one of my friends was at his birthday party because it was at a Methodist church. And my friend was Methodist anyway. And it seems to me like my grandparents, nobody in Michigan where I live actually goes to church or is practicing religiously, but everybody has a religion. Most of my friends, my best friends were Methodist. Free Methodist is what it was called. There were some people that called themselves Mormons, but they were Reorganized Latter-day Saints. I don't know what they're called now, but the people that I really thought were awesome, and I wanted to do that too, were Catholics. They went to school called catechism, and I wanted to do that, but we didn't. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. So the point is, I didn't even know his religion, and he wasn't preaching these things because he had been taught them, because he wasn't Mormon. But when somebody interviewed him about being so old and asked what the secret to his longevity was, when interviewed about his secret to longevity, it was a scribbled note. I suddenly wrote in my real handwriting, which is illegible, something about him doing hand stands. There was a picture of my great-grandfather when he was like I don't know if he was 100 yet or if he was in his 90s, but he was standing on his head. He was youthful. He had fun pretending with everybody and pretending that he was old. They gave, those great big checks that they give people? They made a presentation to him and gave him a check. And he says to my brother, he liked to pretend selectively he would not be able to hear. Or he'd be hard of hearing. He's talking really loud in front of a large group of people. And he goes to my brother, he says, this check is nice and all, but you can't cash it anywhere. It was just funny. He had a good sense of humor, too. Okay, but when asked about his longevity, he said that he stayed clear of things like coffee or tea or other things that are addictive, that cause addiction, and that make you do things too much. That's not good. So, moderation. But he hadn't been taught that. That was his secret to longevity. Along with that, though, I remembered, I wanted to pass this on too. He said that the reason he lived so long is that he had a reason to wake up every morning. He says he believes in having a purpose, and most specifically having a schedule and a reason to be needed each day. So if you have something that you have to do, I do that with my kids just because my grandfather said that. I make sure the kids, every morning I'm like, so what's our goal today? Having a goal is very important. Okay. So back to moderation. I didn't want to be too anything. I knew that and I'd been taught that. So I decided that I was just going to be healthy then. It doesn't matter. I'm never going to look perfect or what I used to look like. Besides, when I looked that way, the way I was as skinny as anyone else, I was not happy. And the voice said, didn't say you're fat. It just said, you're too skinny. You don't even fit into a woman's size. You have to wear little kids. I wore the small little kid sizes. Even little kid-sized sizes, I was just skinny and I wasn't ever happy. So the fact that I can't fit into those clothes anymore doesn't mean I'm fat. It means there's always going to be something telling me I'm not good enough. But anyway, so I was going to be healthy. Well, so I stopped dieting, I stopped exercising and everything, and then this time, that voice that used to say, you're fat, didn't say that anymore. It'd say, you can just eat anything you want, whenever you want, because it's important to be healthy. I mean, not healthy, it's important to be happy. And you have food because you're supposed to be healthy, right? I mean, you're supposed to be happy. I keep saying healthy. You're supposed to be happy, so eat the food if you want it. But that isn't right either. I'm like, wait, is that a godly idea? Anyway, I noticed that I was kind of stuck on a pendulum, swinging back and forth, kind of dialectically. That's how I always think of it. You do something, you start out with your thesis and antithesis, you try to get as far away as you can, and then you realize, that's too far, so you swing and try to be opposite of that. You end up swinging too far, and you realize, hey, maybe somewhere in the middle was the good thing in the first place. Anyway, so what would healthy be? Maybe that's what I should be. It doesn't mean don't diet, don't exercise. It just means do things in moderation. That's the one word, moderation. Okay, now, recording a video is because I made a correlation in my mind about being toothless, which I have absolutely no qualm about not wearing them, because I'm still me, and I feel fine about myself. My image is not my teeth. Now, my brothers, they care a lot about teeth, and they always have. They used to call me Bucktooth because I had these really big front teeth that stuck out, and that's why I play trombone, because I thought with marching band maybe it'll help. But my orthodontist said that I didn't have an overbite at all. Okay, so anyway, I still liked me, but I wanted to tell a story about teeth because in my mind, like I say, that's what I thought, ding, ding, make a video. It was about teeth. When I was a teenager, I was confused because there was this group that I just absolutely loved. And all of a sudden they disappeared, so I researched and found out they had a different name. But as I followed their careers, they changed too, but they still kept the same name. Which also my mind right now is saying, hey, that's kind of like us. Even though we changed, we're still the same person. Okay, anyway, I wanted to tell the story. So I saw this woman on the cover, and I was like, oh, she is hideous. And I was like, so Mom, what's the story? Why did they have this movie that was famous with this actress that had these terrible looking teeth? Because in my mind, my teeth were terrible because I had buck teeth and this lady had terrible buck teeth. And I thought that was just like the worst thing about that point in my life. And my mom says, oh, that was actually her trademark. That everybody thought that was beautiful because she thought it was beautiful. Once again, I've heard that in a lot of people's comments about things that you have to have confidence, and it really doesn't matter how you look. There's a few other people that I've thought, oh gosh, how did they ever become successful because of their teeth or because of something? And that is a lie that we tell ourselves, that you have to be a certain way. But it's more important to accept how you look. Okay, I have really quick another thing that it always comes back to that. I don't even want. Okay, well I thought I was way too skinny and stuff, and then I saw another person's video where they had these girls running around and they were way too skinny. I thought they're running around like half naked, and I was like, well, they seem very confident and they're very proud of themselves, and this guy put them on a video and stuff for all these people to see. And my husband at the time even said they were attractive, and I was like, that's attractive? Also, why is that voice telling me that's disgusting? I'm like, well, they look the same as I do, but everybody else says they're attractive. And there was another lady, too, who was, like, considered one of the most beautiful women in the world. And I was like, well, actually, that voice is telling me that she's too skinny. She should gain some weight. Okay, cue me now. I've gained weight, and now what am I saying? Oh, I'm too fat, so now I need to somewhere in the middle. Well, I must have gone through that middle, but moderation. We should eat when we feel good about eating, but not all the time. It's not a good thing to be gluttonous, but it's more important to love how we look. Just eat what you eat. Don't limit yourself, because I heard somebody else say that too. They were talking about being vegan. And they're like, well, one of the most important things is not to think about what you can't have. And I worked on my kids with that too. On Sunday, everybody always says there's all these things that you can't do. It's better not to think about what you can't do, but think about what you can do. How does that fit to dieting? Okay, I never said. If you say, oh, I cannot eat this, then you're going to get stressed and your body will produce cortisol and you'll gain weight. So it's better not to stress, but to think, not tell yourself, I cannot eat something, but say, I can eat this and this and this and this and all the things you can eat. At least that's, and don't stress about it. If you break it, it's okay. You just know that. One of my sons told me that he was drinking something and it was off my diet. I was not allowed to have root beer at that time. And I said, oh, can I just have a sip of your root beer? And he says, why can't you have root beer? That's ridiculous. You love root beer. I'm like, yeah, you're right. So I just want a sip of it. He says, you should just have it. It's a good thing that you are limiting yourself because you should lower your sugar to be healthy. But likewise, it's unhealthy to forbid yourself something. Go ahead and just, you know that you're only allowed to have a little bit. if you just have that. And then it reminds me again of what my grandfather said. Well, you can drink coffee, but if you start drinking coffee, you're going to drink more. And that's going to take away your ability to have moderation. And that's what his secret was. He says, well, the way to be happy in things is be able to make your own choices. And if anything takes away your choice and makes you do anything to an extreme or too much of anything, that's not a good thing. Okay. So, like I said, I'll probably make this video again and be able to stick with exactly what I had written down instead of wandering like I do. I do not have any disorder either. Strangely enough, I went to a psychologist and they tested me and I tested negative for all those different things that you would think I have the way I'm so scatterbrained. That's just the way I am. And actually I don't have any concern about being crazy. I know there was one lady who was a teacher once, and she said that. She said she feels like the crazy lady who doesn't even realize she's crazy, but everybody else knows she is. And I thought, I wish I hadn't thought that. I'd never had that thought before, but after she said that, I started thinking that all the time. I started thinking about all the different people that were crazy, but they probably didn't think they were crazy, but everybody else did. So what does it matter what everyone else thinks? I don't know if I ever made that clear. Moderation is very good, yes, but more important is being confident of whatever you end up looking like. I don't think that we're supposed to all look the same. When I look the way I'm trying to look, I wasn't happy. Likewise, when I don't look that way, I'm not happy. So when you start telling yourself, oh, you're stupid, you're fat, or anything that's kind of negative, think, wait, is that really true? No, I think that's just an opposing viewpoint. Anyway, this is probably getting long. It says it's almost 20 minutes.